So the machine I'm going to talk about today is the AC MultiBell. And this is probably one of the strangest and most bizarre three-reel machines ever made. It was made by a company called AC, and it's actually a Cayley machine. Cayley sold their business in 1932 to a company by the name of Fuller Johnson, and they agreed never to use their name on another slot machine. So Cayley wanted to make one final slot machine, and apparently he wanted to pull out all the stops and make something really cool, and so he came out with this. Unfortunately, he came out with this in 1936, made it for about 2 years. Towards the end of the run, they also came out with a version called the Daily Double, which is a horse race theme. And from the research I've been doing, they sold all the parts to Buckley back in the late 30s, like probably 1939. And then during the war, when slot machines couldn't be made because aluminum was being used for the war effort, Buckley took all those parts and continued to make some MultiBells. This is information that I found from reading some articles by Dick Bushell. Anyway, this machine was a flop. It was too complicated for people to understand, which is why the production only lasted a couple of years, and there aren't that many of them out there. If you know me, I like the weird stuff, the oddball machines, and this definitely fits the bill. And what we'll do now is we'll zoom in on it. I'll show you how it works, and as I'm describing it, I think it'll become obvious on why it was a flop. People just couldn't understand how to play it. But it plays extremely well, very smooth, kind of a testament to Cayley's engineering. All of Cayley's early machines were built extremely well, and so was the MultiBell. So let's go ahead and zoom in on this thing, and we'll talk about how it works, how you played it, and then we'll open it up and show you the mechanism. Okay, so I've zoomed in on the MultiBell, and like I said, it's got a coin head which will allow you to play 1 to 7 coins. And if you look at the jackpot area, it says there's 7 jackpot combinations. So if you bet a nickel on 3 lemon, if you get 3 lemons across the center line, you win the jackpot, so you win all of these nickels. We'll talk about the jackpot in a minute, because it's really cool what they did with this. But if you don't hit 3 lemons, if you hit 1 lemon, then on the third reel, that's called your odds wheel, a number will show up that's superimposed on one of the symbols, anywhere from, I believe, 1 to 20, and that will tell you how many coins you win. And the middle wheel means absolutely nothing. So the only time the middle wheel comes into play is for getting the 3 of the kind in a jackpot. So let's go ahead and see if we can hit a winner. I'll put nickel in strawberry and lemon, and we'll play it. So we actually did hit a strawberry, and the 3 came up on the end, so we won 3 nickels. So this is unlike any other slot machine ever made, and people just couldn't figure it out. So that's probably one of the reasons it flopped. Also, on the coin acceptor, you can see, what nickels were played, and if it says not played, that means that area was not played. Kind of falls back to the way the old uprights worked, where you could see if the coin was played or not. So let's go ahead and do it again. We'll bet on Bell, and we'll bet on Plum. So we hit an orange, so we did not hit a winner. So, okay, that's cool enough. So let's take a look at the jackpot. So you got all these nickels on the jackpot, which implies that's what you're going to win when you do hit a jackpot, which would be 3 of a kind. But what Cayley really did, which was cool, especially considering it was in the 30s, when you hit a jackpot, you actually do not win all of these nickels. There's a tube in the mechanism filled with, I don't know, 30 nickels, I imagine. I haven't counted them. And all the nickels dump out of that tube. What also happens is this whole plate spins, and it says, "Congratulations, you've won a jackpot," or something like that, to make you think that you just won all of those nickels. Then on the next pull, the plate spins back around full of nickels, so it magically refilled itself. So that was really cool, because that way Kaylee could dictate exactly how many coins were paid out for a jackpot, and the jackpot always looked full to entice people to keep playing. So what I'll do now is I'll open up the back door, and we'll make it hit a jackpot. But before I do that, I want to show the finish of these things. So these are painted silver with a very rough compound applied to the case. And some people think these machines are hideous. Other people think they're great looking. My opinion varies, I guess, depending on my mood. But what I think is so cool is just how unique the mechanism is. It's unlike any other three-reeler ever made. So let's go ahead and I'll open up the back. We'll force it to hit a jackpot, and you'll see what I'm talking about with the plate. Okay, so I've got the back door pulled off, and we'll show you we'll force it to hit a jackpot. So I'll put a quarter or a nickel in. Let's go with lemons. And so when 3 lemons appear, this whole thing will spin, and a whole bunch of nickels will dump it down there. So hopefully I can line them up. And I put it in lemon, I believe I said, which seems kind of interesting because lemon usually means instant loser on most machines. There we go. Lemon, lemon. And the middle one bounced out of position. So let's try this again. There's a lemon. There's a lemon. It's pretty bad when you're trying to cheat the machine with it open up and it still won't let you. So, doggone it. Well, let me pull this back and force it. Well, that's interesting. This is a 10-stop machine. That's why. There's a lemon. Okay. Really? There we go. Had to jiggle the handle. So it says you got it. 7 different jackpots. Get another. It dumped out a whole bunch of coins. And we'll put in another nickel. And you'll see this wheel reset. So, took a little bit of effort, but we hit a jackpot. I did not realize this machine was not a full 20-stop machine. So, what that means is actually only every other symbol is valid. So that one lemon that I tried to hit initially, it's physically impossible for the machine to hit that particular symbol. And I don't even know how many symbols are on these strips. I assume 20. That's what most had, but who knows? Kaylee might have done something different. So let's go ahead and look at the mechanism. I'll show you how this Jackpot thingy works, and continue on. So here's the inside of the case, and just wanted to point out a couple things, especially if you're looking at getting one of these MultiBells. This is the I'll call it a flywheel that spins around that shows the Jackpot. And if you notice, there's a little spring-loaded lever here, because when this thing flies around, it moves at a pretty good rate of speed. On the very early machines, on the first ones, they did not have this spring-loaded stop. It was just part of the casting. And this thing would fly around with such force, it would not be uncommon or unheard of to break either this little tab or this part of the casting. So Kaylee improved the design, and they put in this little spring-loaded bar to act as a shock absorber, which was a pretty good idea. And the same thing over on the right side when it loads up. Like that. And that's pretty much it for the case. Here's the tray to where the nickels get funneled to the bottom payout cup. It's plumb full right now because we just hit a jackpot. And here's your coin can, cash can, whatever. But that's pretty much it for the case. But the Jackpot is just really unique on this machine. Okay, so I'm going to try to describe how the MultiBell mechanism works. If you don't have previous experience with three-reeler machines, you're probably going to be horribly confused, because I'm going to just point out the key parts and how they interact with each other. But if you've never worked on a Mills or Jennings or a Kaylee traditional three-reeler, you will probably get lost. So anyway, here goes. This tube here, this is a Jackpot tube. So when you get three of a kind, there's a slide that gets pulled back, and it dumps all the coins that are up here down. So this many nickels gets dumped out, which now probably 20 or so. And these are the nickels that are held in reserve. Then on the next pull, there's an arm over here that gets pulled back, which allows all these nickels to fill up for the next jackpot. And then this will be self-filling on future plays. So that's how the Jackpot works on the front. I'll show you how it actually triggers when we get to the back side of the machine. The odds payout is very unique. And the way it works is the third reel, if you're familiar with the traditional slot machine, Mills, Jennings, whatever, you know there's a 20-tooth gear or 10-tooth gear, depending on whether there's 10 or 20 stops. And when the reel stop hits that gear, that's what symbol it hits stops on. That's exactly how this machine works. However, those teeth are cut at different depths, which allow that brake to go in further. And the higher the payout, the further it goes in, which then causes this lever here, which is connected directly to the reel stop, raises this arm. This arm is in turn used to block the payout slides. So the higher it goes, the more payout slides that are released to allow the various payouts. So I'm going to cycle it a couple times. We'll get a side angle of this, and hopefully you'll get an idea of what I'm talking about. So here's a close-up view of what I was just talking about. And as you can see, if I raise and lower this thing, the slides do not go back and do not release any coins. So I'll play a winner, and I'll just let it cycle naturally, and odds are we will not hit a winner. And we didn't, and so you can see no slides were moved. Now I will play it again, and I'll force a winner. So I played an apple, or a strawberry I mean, so we'll line up strawberry. And let's hit a big payout. Let's set it to 15. And so when the third reel stops, you'll see this lever will go up and then these slides will move back. And it bumped to 3 instead of 15. But you should have seen the slides move. Let's go ahead and do it again. We'll see if I can make it hit. Okay, there's a strawberry. And I'm going to line it up, try and get a big winner. So there's 15 again. There we go. So, as you can see, almost all the slides went back, releasing the 15 coins. So very simple and pretty dang ingenious in my opinion. So let's look at the back of the machine and actually see how it works from that end, as far as detecting a winner and then how the mechanism for allowing the machine to actually pay out. Okay, so this is the top of the mechanism from the back, and we'll talk a little bit about how the coin acceptor works. It's a little complicated, but anyway, when you put a nickel in, it hits a little lever, which then is connected to 7 fingers below these horizontal bars. And there's, it's a 7 coin machine, so there's 7 fingers and there's 7 of these horizontal bars. If a coin is not played, these fingers are in the up position and hold these vertical bars straight up. If a coin is played, the fingers go down and then allow these vertical bars to drop down about 1/8 of an inch or so, which will then allow them to freely move from left to right. And these horizontal bars are connected to the vertical fingers over on the left, over here, which are then, go into the payout slots for the various winners. So I'm going to put a coin in position 2 and 3. So there's 1 and 2, and 1 is 3. So when I cycle the machine, you should see these 2 bars go down a little bit, the other bars go up, and then if symbol 2 or 3 is hit, then the finger will go through the hole and allow a payout. So as you can see, these 2 horizontal bars are lower than the rest, and all these other ones are being held up by these fingers down here. So we actually hit a winner. Number 3 is a lemon, and as you should have seen, this horizontal lever was able to travel the distance. If we'd hit a winner, if the winner was number 4, this plate here would have prevented number 4 from moving and hence prevented a payout. So let's go ahead and play it again, and we will not hit a winner. So I'm going to put it in lemon, number 3. So as you should be able to see, number 3 is down, but everything else is up. And assuming we don't hit a lemon, we didn't. We hit a plum, which is number 5, and this bar tried to move, but it was stopped because it was raised. So that's how the coin head talks to the rest of the mechanism to dictate whether to allow a payout or not, depending on the reel that hits. So in this case it was number 5, and it stopped the rest of the payout mechanism from engaging because it didn't allow this to advance. So let's look at the rest of the payout mechanism to see how it works. Okay, so here are the payout fingers that you're probably familiar with if you've worked on other slot machines, Mills, Cayley, whatever. So what I'm going to do is let's just play it first and not hit a winner. I'm going to put a nickel in strawberry. And we hit a plum, so the part that I was just talking about prevented the plum, which is number 5. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This is number 5 from advancing. Okay, so now let's actually hit a winner, and we'll do number 1 because it's nice and close. Play in strawberry again. So I'll force the strawberry. So we've hit a strawberry. So now this finger will be allowed to pass through the disc, which represents a strawberry, which it did. So it then allows the machine to pay out the 2 coins, or whatever the odds were, the 3 coins in this case, to do the payout. So the next question you're probably having is, okay, what did this advance, what did this do to allow the payout to occur? Well, we'll now show you that. Okay, so this is the bottom part of the mechanism, and the way it determines to allow a payout or not is extremely simple. So when one of these fingers is allowed to move forward, that's connected to this plate here, okay, which is then connected to this lever here. And the bottom of this lever, if this lever does not go down, if it's raised up, then this lever here is, think of it as a master slide. If this lever is in this position, it allows the slides to be paid off. If it's over on the far right, then it locks the slides into place. And again, if you're familiar with how a traditional slot machine works, that's not that unusual. That's kind of how they work. So let's go ahead and play it. We'll hit a loser. So we hit a lemon, and as you can see, this lever here was not allowed to go to the right to release the slides. So let's go ahead and hit a winner now. That was too slow. Let's try it again. Okay, we'll go. There's a strawberry. And watch this. As you can see, this arm here was able to go down to allow this master slide to move from right to left, which then allowed the slides to pay off. So for a jackpot, it's really simple. If the vertical finger or the horizontal fingers are allowed to go all the way, then this bar actually goes down even lower, which really allows, I believe it's this finger here, to be released, which allows the master jack out to trip. So let's go ahead and do that. Okay, we had a technical glitch during the jackpot portion portion. Ran out of battery. We've got a new battery. We're good to go. So when a jackpot occurs, you get three symbols all lined up like three strawberries. The horizontal finger here will go all the way through the three holes, which will then cause this lever to go down all the way to the bottom, and it will release this lever, allow this lever to go back, which is what is connected to the master jackpot tube to allow all those coins to dump out. So let's go ahead and force the jackpot. There's one strawberry. See how good I am at picking the second strawberry. Hey, it worked. And we'll get the third strawberry lined up. There we go. So you should see this lever go all the way to the floor, which allows this jackpot release bar to move back, and we'll dump out all the coins out of the jackpot tube. And sure enough, it went all the way back and went all the way down to allow this to go back to dump the jackpot. So I'm not going to go into any more details of how the mechanism works. If you're a slot guy, the rest of it's pretty easy, pretty straightforward. If you're not a slot guy and you have one of these, you probably shouldn't tear it apart until you really understand how the basics of a machine work. And I guess that's it. So the MultiBell is a way cool machine. No other machine's ever been built like it. If you like the unusual stuff, you should maybe think about adding one to your collection. They do show up at auction periodically. The only thing I would caution is just to make sure it's working. If the case is in rough shape, be warned, the case is a real chore to restore properly. It's not near as easy as you would anticipate. So I hope you enjoyed the video, and I guess that's it. So subscribe to me if you want to be notified when I post more.